Good morning, guys. Well, summer is here and the deer are definitely out. So I just want to cover just a few great plants that are really deer resistant, that really put on a great show and are a great value pretty much from now all the way through the end of summer. So within annuals, this is really a one-stop shop. So this is Lantana, and because of its really high deer resistance, they've done so much to hybridize and develop these plants. They put on a great color show pretty much all throughout summer. They're very low maintenance. You really don't have to do anything other than really just water and feed them. They're great in hanging baskets. They do very well in containers. And inside the ground, they do great and they start to spread. So this will get probably a good 2 to 3 feet wide. But they put on a beautiful show all summer. And again, they're very, very high in deer resistance. So this is another great one. This is actually one of my favorites. It's Heliotrope. And it's got just a wonderful vanilla fragrance. And there's nothing like it, no other plant that really has that same smell. And it does a phenomenal job with deer resistance. And something that you'll really see as you're looking at plants that are deer resistant, you'll notice the texture of the leaf. So it's kind of got a fuzzy, really thick leaf to it. If you're in doubt, that's generally a pretty deer resistant plant. So, but Heliotrope holds up really well. This is Salvia, so it's a Russian sage, just a great plant. Does really well in containers. Great as a nice centerpiece within a container, but it blooms beautifully all summer and just holds up really well. And then this is Verbena. So this, again, this is a great plant to put over, to cascade over your container. Also does really well in the ground. It'll sprawl out. But again, it's got that really thick, kind of fuzzy leaf to it. And these guys will hold up really well. There's a number of perennials that hold up really well against deer. And the beautiful thing is they bloom all summer long. So this is one of my favorites. It's a Yarrow, and it blooms pretty much from early spring really through late fall, and it blooms nonstop. You know, as it comes out of bloom, just go ahead, give it a little trim back, feed it a little bit, and you'll be in great shape. It'll just bloom pretty much nonstop all season long. This is Echinacea, famous for the herb, but it's also a wonderful blooming plant. And again, very high deer resistance. And the flowers, pretty much, it's just starting to bloom now, but they'll bloom pretty much nonstop throughout the entire summer. Coreopsis is another one that blooms really all the way through early spring, all the way through late fall. But look at how many blossoms this has. It's just a beautiful Coreopsis. So it's called Golden Sphere, and it holds up beautifully against deer, but you know, the flower power of these, just really incredible. All of your grasses and a lot of your ferns are also very deer resistant. So as you're looking at those, they'll hold up really well. So don't worry about planting any of those. This is Russian sage. So this is just starting to bloom, but it's just a great plant and it holds up really well. It's very hardy in our area. It's got a really nice fragrance to it, and it gets a nice blue flower to it. So it's just something that really adds well to the garden. And as you're going to plant, especially with your perennials, put them in groups of 3 or 5, and they'll just create a nice show for you, and they'll hold up really well. Lavender is also a great perennial that holds up great against deer. You know, any of those plants that have a nice fragrance to them, a lot of those are very deer resistant. Within trees and shrubs, this is a Verbena. This is a Viburnum. So the Viburnum hold up really well. They've got the fuzzy leaves to them also, but this is a fragrant one. So as it grows, it's got like a nice airy growth habit to it. But it gets in early spring kind of a little snowball type flower, but it's just got a beautiful fragrance to it. So it holds up really well. But other trees and shrubs that are very deer resistant, magnolia are great against deer. They've done a lot with arborvitae actually. So green giant arborvitae are very strong deer resistance, a lot of your forsythia. So as you're going through, just, you know, there are a lot of options that are deer resistant. You know, nothing's going to be bulletproof, but these hold up really well. And if you do have stuff that you really like, but they are getting nibbled on by the deer, sprays are a great alternative. So plant skid or liquid fence, deer stopper, you know, get into a rotation with those. So don't just use that, just the one product and stick to it. Make sure that you're switching that up about every 30 to 60 days. That'll keep the deer on their toes. If they get used to the product that you're using, they will go ahead and eventually they'll start eating again. So just some great tips for summer. Have a great day, guys.